the show. This is my first episode in a long time. I got the lovely Mrs. Francois. Was Miss Francois, not Mrs. Miss Francois, a dynamic entertainer, speaker, producer, writer, author, and game-changing trendsetter that aims to inspire. She migrated from Trinidad and Tobago in her late teens to establish a new legacy for her life. She's the host of the Mss Francois Show. Y'all gotta definitely go check that out on YouTube. Where else you located? Facebook too?
Yeah, everything, all social media. Once they go to the website, they'll find me.
Yeah, and the show is what you said is a candid conversation, which is reading fine print. We're gonna be candid with a variety of entertainment and uses humor to help others with their dysfunctional relationships. How are you, Miss?
I am always amazing. It's a choice, and I choose to be amazing.
I love that answer. So tell the people a little bit about yourself beyond your bio.
Okay, so first of all, you hear my beautiful accent. I must say it's in the top 10 sexiest accents in the world. You can Google that, right?
Okay.
So that's from Trinidad and Tobago. You're welcome.
Yeah. And what's number one? Out of curiosity, what's the number one accent?
It didn't really matter to me, so that's good for them. I just glad that I was on the list, so I was happy.
Got you. You take this banner off.
So beside, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'm from a large family. It's like 8 of us. So my mom drinks milk, so she's really healthy and strong. All 8 kids are amazing, right? Beside that, I came to America. You know, you come to America thinking, yeah, land of gold, opportunity. And it wasn't that way. I had a lot of struggles. Most immigrants can relate. There's always some kind of trauma you have to go through. And I think in all of that, I just found laughter as a way to make things easier and to make a lighter of a situation. I'm one of those overly educated people. I have like 2 masters.
I saw that.
All kind of fancy certificate in production and all that stuff, but no man. But I got everything else.
No man. No. Let me turn off this fan because I got it on. I don't know if it's picking it up or not, but just so. So I'm in the office today, and they cut off the AC on the weekends. I don't know why, because they give us 24 access to this building. 24-hour access.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So how did it sound on your end? We're gonna keep it going. It doesn't matter. Let's go. So tell me. So you had this book, right? We're gonna hop right into it. We're hop right into it called Let That Bleep Man Go 5+ Steps to Getting Over a Breakup.
Yes.
So what made you write the book?
It stemmed from a few things that happened in the past. It's like they always say, it's all about a journey. You have no idea that's what's gonna come up. So I come from Toastmasters, and for those who know, Toastmasters is all about public speaking and leadership skills. So I came from there. I won like a humorous competition with a speech called Steve Harvey Can't Find Me a Man, right? Yeah, I started there. I took that and I made it into a one-woman show about Frustrated, which basically has to do with me, the exes in my life, and all the situations that I go through and which other people go through when they want to find their significant other. And I took that, made it into a TV show. So all these things was just a journey. And to the end of last year to this year, because this year is when I launched the book, I think it's all those things combined, including my show is going on the 4th year, right? Okay. So all the psychologists, the therapists, all these different things that I continue to learn from and my own experience along with my friends, I was like, everyone always have an answer for finding a man and keeping a man, trapping a man, whatever the case might be. But people forget that when the relationship ends, you have that period in time, you're devastated, you're sad, you're talking to your retarded friends that can't help you.
Oh.
Let's be real. Your friends, a lot of them is a waste of time, right? Yeah, but we just choose to keep them because we've known them for 20 years, right?
Absolutely.
So I decided it's time. Again, people read the title like, let that beep, beep man go. But it's all about journaling. It's about empowerment, about getting to the next chapter in your life. So it's 5+ steps to getting over a breakup.
Got you. So when was so we gotta ask, right? We gotta get candid.
You could get all in my business.
that's the sweet part. We gonna do this because you put it out there. So when was your last? So let me run. Have you ever been married?
Check me. Do I lie? Yes,
no,
but I was
married.
Yes,
oh, do you lie? Got you.
I was thinking to lie, but the public record, so you can look it up. But when I got married, it was like when I was 18. So sometime in my mind, it doesn't even count. But
got you. Yeah, 18. I know you're only 21, but that's 3 years ago. But so that was, how long did your marriage last?
On paper, 5 years. In reality, 1 year.
Reality 1 year. Got you. On paper, 5 years. In reality, 1 year. It's funny. I had this. I used to work with this guy. He was married to his wife on paper for 20 years, but they was only like really married, like, because he never got the divorce for like 2 years.
Right, exactly. Some
Yeah.
people just don't want to go through the hassle of the paperwork, and so some people just let it go until they find someone else, then they get married. But the funny thing is, the reason we got divorced, we filled out the paperwork, is because he wanted to get remarried. So it works the same way.
Yeah, so that's what he did though. So he was a much older gentleman, much older than I am. And he was married. So his second wife was 20 years. So he said, I've been married twice for 20 years. And he was like, the first one was only 5 years, but he finally got divorced to marry his new wife, and he's been with her for 20 years. It's been longer than 20 years. Yeah, yeah. So it's been 40 years in two separate marriages, but he technically only been with the two people for like, I guess, like 25 years.
Okay, I like how at least you're good at math, because you look like you're really calculating in your mind. Also,
yeah, I was. You saw that, right? I got a little bit of smarts. So when was your last? Because we being candid, you said we can do that.
Yes.
Well, you said I'm beginning your business. When was your last long-term relationship, and how long was it?
That ended in 2018. That lasted almost 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So let me ask you another candid question.
Go ahead.
So why? I'm gonna stop using that the prefacing every question like that.
Yeah, just answer the question.
Yeah. So what happened with that relationship?
He liked prostitutes.
He liked prostitutes. I didn't expect that answer. I thought
you thought it was my fault, right? I thought it was communication or the regular stuff. People, we can't communicate. Oh, his mom got in our business. No, he liked prostitutes. See, simple.
Yeah.
I choose not to get AIDS, and it didn't work out.
Got you. So what the one before that? Because that one, we can't dive deep in that one because we don't have them here, so we can ask them like why you like prostitutes. But what the one before that one?
Oh my God, that was ages ago. That's like a whole different mindset at that time. That lasted for about 2 years, and that was actually a great relationship. I think mentally I just wasn't ready for that step in life, so that was over like 11 plus years ago.
So I'm interested in why you think he wasn't mentally ready for it.
Because when you think back, how much time you don't think back right now in your present time, and you think back at when you're like 30 or 25, and you're like, my goodness, I was dumb, right? So I think it was one of those situations where I still needed so much growth. Again, he was a great guy. We still communicate. We talk up until like last week. So you could have a great relationship with someone, but that's not necessarily one you can wake up to every day. And I think that's something people should need to know, because someone could be really wonderful, right? And they seem to check a lot of boxes. But if you can't look up and look at that person and go, I like you, it's not going to work. And I like him, but I didn't love him. I think that was the main problem. Everyone else loved him though. My mom, my dad, everybody loved him, and he's great. But I didn't love him. I really liked him though. And I don't think anyone should marry someone they like a lot.
Like a lot. I got you. And the reason I asked you that is one, because I rarely hear women say that I wasn't ready. Like it's always, at least when they talk to me, it's always like, yo, he wasn't S. He wasn't this. He did that and the third. It's never like, oh, I just wasn't ready for the relationship. So it's
I think that takes growth though, and understanding certain things, because women, we very emotional, and I think the emotions always comes to sound like angry woman issues or whatever. And I think as time goes on and your journey continues and you experience different things, hopefully it comes with growth and you have a better understanding of yourself. I know I sound super smart. I know what I'm talking about. Now I'm ready though. I'm ready.
You ready. So now you're ready. So do you consider because I've been seeing some stuff online. So I'm just gonna ask you, do you consider yourself a relationship expert or no?
Oh hell no! People like to talk a bunch of crap. What the hell? I'm like, and I said if I use the word expert, again, it's what context you use it in. I have a very good understanding or expert in the fact that the healing process.
Okay.
You understand? So if I'm expert in relationship when it comes to the healing process. Some people like to just say I'm a relationship expert, like they know everything. Half the time their husband cheating on them, they don't even know. Sometimes you go to your therapist and your psychologist and all that stuff, and they have more issues than you have issues, but I'm supposed to talk to you about my issues, right?
Got you. Nah, because I saw it. I've been doing my research on you. I saw that
You should be doing your
research. Yeah. I do it through my homework. So I saw that you were you basically what you just said, but I wanted you to tell my audience because hopefully we got people that will that know you but don't know you that's coming through to my audience that never heard your explanation for it. But I like that honesty because I think a lot of times people are selling people dreams, like because I don't think there's one. Relationships are the most difficult thing I think ever, right? That we don't really discuss deeply because each one is unique because everybody comes with their own baggage, their own expectations, their own perspective on life, and we like to say, yo, you just do this and it's gonna work for you, and it's like, nah, it may not work for you.
Yeah, because one of the things that I always say is one size doesn't fit all, and I always direct that to the ladies because it comes with like clothes or shoes. We all trying to fit into this one little thing that the thing is going to work for you. One size, it's impossible for one size to fit all. Because again, it has great relationship experts that offer some great advice, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. I love me some Steve Harvey, and I read the book, and in the early days when the book came out, I was like, I'm a Steve Harvey student. But when I try to use some of the things, I'm like, that doesn't necessarily work for me, and everybody's different. I'm Caribbean. My culture could have a different spin on thing when it comes to relationships, compared to someone else from a different country or state or whatever the case might be. So different things for different people.
Yeah, and then the Steve Harvey, I don't know if you noticed or not, but it actually was written by a woman. To Think Like a Man.
Really, that's what it was written by a woman, or Steve Harvey had his input while the woman wrote it? Because you all like to see certain things and then just run with it and be like, he never wrote the book.
Nah, so he was so what he did was it was ghost written by a woman and he put his name on it. It's out there now. Like, she's out there. She told her story. She got paid for it. It's out there now. So I'll share it to you when we get off the air.
Yeah, you do that. Because I decide I don't like to jump as soon as someone says something. I'm like, oh my God, really?
Yeah. No. So it was a whole marketing plan and everything. So it's out there now. I don't know how it got out there because I would think that it would be like some type of NDA or something, like, confidential agreement that you don't reveal that you wrote that, but it's out there now. So that's just interesting that, because the book is, I'm assuming you're talking about Think Like a Man.
Yeah, act like a lady, think like a man.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm sure his book helped millions of people.
Yeah.
And that's great. But then there's some other millions. It have 300 million people in America alone. So it doesn't have to work for everyone. But it had some good things in there. Whoever wrote it doesn't matter at the end of the day to me. The point is how did it help you?
Yeah, so it's the messenger and not necessarily the message, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Charles.
Well, it's the message, not necessarily the messenger. But
however it is, you know our point. Yeah. Whoever listening know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So the messenger is important though sometimes, because people will not listen to the message depending on the messenger.
Right. But I think the thing that messes up people, they expect the messenger to always be perfect. And I think that's what gets a lot of people in trouble. Because yes, you listen to this particular person because of who they are, but then when they do one thing or two things wrong that come out in public, all of a sudden, oh my God, I can't believe I bought the book or listened to the person. Really?
Yeah. We don't offer the people grace that we want people to have with us, right? So we don't want people to throw us out for whatever our shortcomings and mistakes are, but we will. Seems like we're in a place where, at least online, that we will throw people out for. As soon as they do something we don't like, we like. They cancel.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! I can't believe who does she think she is? She should be more of a mentor. Like whatever.
Yeah.
And then your own home is not well put together. What are you
own home? Because we all going through something. We all got our own issues. I always tell people, until you want to share your this is a joke. Until you want to share your Pornhub searches, I don't want to see you canceling people, because we don't know what you searching and what you're doing online. Show me your Google searches, because I know it's something crazy on there.
That's why I clean mine all the time.
I do too. I clean mine at least weekly.
I tell your wife.
Ah!
Yeah, you
So
sound guilty. You're like,
so we gotta we gotta give people the same grace that we want to expect for ourselves. But how did you get into the comedy? Because I didn't know you had I did not know that you had the one person show. And how long did it run? Where did it run? Are
so
you bringing it back?
So it was funny, right? Like after I did the 5 to 7 speech for Toastmasters, someone had mentioned to me, "Oh, this could be a one woman show," and I had no clue what that even was. Or the only person I know that did something like that was a Whoopi Goldberg, right? So I was totally clueless. I started to Google stuff, so forth and so on. And at one point in time, I had sent out like over 50 messages on Facebook to people who had done it, right? After my research. This one person actually sent back something and said, "Oh, you should try the what it have this, what is it, the one, right, it's right here, let me tell you what it is. United Soul Solo Organization, which is the largest one person show in the whole of the United States." Didn't even know that, right?
Yeah.
But they sent me some information saying like, I'm already in New York, so that's a big deal. So I searched them out. I sent that same 5 to 7 minutes clip, and they said, "Okay, you can do a show." I had no show written. I had nothing, right?
Wow.
Literally,
so what is it
I
called?
just got
I'm write that down. So you know what? We're gonna put it in the show notes.
Yes, United Solo, SOLO, right? .org, right?
Okay.
I literally wrote the show like maybe 2 months later, because I'm a person like, I can't just sit and write a show. Something always just jumps in my brain, and once I start, I did it. I wrote the whole thing. It's about an hour long in like 2 hours, right? I just continued typing till it ended. And when the whole thing came together, they allowed, I had 2 shows. The 2 shows, the first one, you get all your friends to buy stuff. You're threatening them to buy tickets or whatever. By the time I had the second show, it was sold out. So I did it. They asked me to do more shows, but people don't understand, when you're the one promoting all your stuff, they only do so much for you. It's very exhausting. It's a lot of work, and all your friends and family that say they're going to help, they so happen to disappear. Right. So I had 2 solo shows off Broadway, unitedsolo.org. Great organization. And that was pretty awesome. The show was called Frustrated.
Okay. I gotta check that out. But do you have any plans on bringing it back or no?
So that was my plan. But I think for me, I would need someone to invest in it, to do all the, all the other work, because it's only so much you could do by yourself, right? So if I had like an investor, so forth and so on, there's something that I definitely want to tour nationally or internationally with at some point in time, sooner than later. You want to invest?
Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it offline. Let's talk about the business. As long as the numbers make sense, we can try to figure something out.
You never know. And this is why you network with people, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the fine print. This is read the fine print. Let's talk about the fine prints of putting that show together. So tell the listeners, the watchers, some things that they're thinking about doing a one person show, some things that they should know before going in that probably no one would tell them about, because no one would tell them about.
So the number one thing is, I think for me, was the marketing issue. Because once you found an organization like unitedsolo.org, I think they did a lot of the stuff, because they already have the venue. It was in Theater Row. So they have a lot of the venue. They have all so the lighting, everything is already set for you. Your job really is to be able to do your show and to be able to market your show. Because when I was trying to do it completely by myself and trying to rent the space and all that stuff, it sounds cute in the beginning, but with the money, it was just too much when I tried to do it by myself. And that's why the organization was so helpful, because they basically is ready made with certain things. The main thing you have to do basically is be able to market your show. But one thing I would suggest, right? I read a book, because when I Googled or went on Amazon to try to find other people that did it, there's barely anything on there. It had one book on there. It was helpful, because stuff like certain things, if you decide to use, I say, a Beyonce song in the thing, you have to know
right?
that. Yeah. Right. But if you have like under 100 people, you can use it. So these are things that people don't know about. So I always say Google is great, but someone who has done it, because she did it. So she was, she wrote a book on it. But it's always good to get other advice beside Google.
Okay.
You know, so always go to someone who has already done it already to get all the best information you could possibly get. But it's still a lot of work, but the marketing is really hard.
Got you. That's a great plug for a message I always tell people. I tell people because I'm an attorney by day, right? So it's like I always tell people, you know, Google is a great start. LegalZoom is a great start, but you should hire an attorney if you're trying to do something the right way. If you're doing, if it requires an attorney, right? Obviously, if it doesn't require an attorney, you know, you don't need one. But that's great advice. Like, so reach out to somebody that actually has done or is doing what you want to do, because they can give you stuff that Google is not going to give you.
Exactly. That's why we have books.
That's why we have books. That's how you have. So so are you actively? So that was an hour long. So it took you. You said you just sat down and knocked it out in 2 hours, though,
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy. And I'm a person that if I start to hilariously, because if you ever watch any of my stuff, I don't smile. I don't have any, I'm not laughing because there are people that when they do jokes, because I'm not a comedian, but I call it comedic monologue, that they tend to laugh through the whole thing. So mine's is, I just have this face like I'm just telling a story basically.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
do you think that helps her? What was the feedback when you
Oh,
did
they
it?
loved it.
They loved it.
Let me tell you something. If people only know, I was scared to death
You
because
supposed
that's
to
the
be,
first.
right? Yeah.
People think like when they see me, they're like see my personality. They're like, oh, she got this. Scared to death because that when I did the show was 2017. The year before was 2016 when I did the Toastmaster stuff. I'm pretty sure I peed myself. I was sweating. My throat was dry. But people always assume, oh, she got this. I only learned to speak a year before because even a year before that, I remember seeing people on Toastmasters, seeing people on stage. And I remember telling my confidant, because we don't have friends. Friends is watered down. My confidant, Quentin,
I like that. Yeah.
I was like, I would never do anything like that. And literally 2 years later, I was on stage and I had a whole show off Broadway. Like, that's crazy. But once you give me an idea, I run with it. And if it's something that I do end up loving, because honestly, at the end of the day, I was just telling my story that so happened to relate to many other people, many other women when it comes to relationships. Like up to today, people think I was being funny. They don't even know the stories I was telling. That's what actually happened in my life. They're like, oh, you crazy, you funny. I'm like, no, I always tell people I'm not a comedian. It's things that happened in my life that I saw the lighter side of it.
Yeah. So do you have that on? I gotta get that. Do you have it on tape? But nah, I got it. I gotta wait till
remember I said I wanted to put it go tour with it. So I have that like on lock. So unless you were there, you saw it. So it's like unlocked. I think I've only showed it to one other person. And because I showed it to one other person in 2019, I actually got to end up on tour, like a short tour between like New Jersey and New York and Connecticut. Yeah. So like I call it a small tour.
Okay.
Because because I showed him this particular thing, he gave me, I had like 215 comedic monologues. And that's something I never even done, but it was so awesome. And they were like famous Caribbean comedians. So if people hear some of these stories, it's amazing how these things come about.
Got you. Yeah, because I'm interested. So let's talk business afterwards. I got your information. Obviously, so we've been trying to do this for a long time. Yes,
yeah, but somebody like to act like they're busy.
Okay,
like I am busy.
Hold on. Put that all on me. I think I gave you a schedule a while ago, and you was like, I'm booked up basically for like 3 months.
Oh, so first of all, when someone is looking to the sky to find the words, story doesn't song, I'm sorry. Okay, I just remember who told you to send the link, who had to tell you which days, so forth and so on. Please, it's in text.
No, so I'm talking about the first time. The first time we booked the show. So so let's give people the background information. So I reached out. So a mutual friend was like, Mss Francois is dope. You need to have on your show.
And to think I didn't even like him that well. Now I feel bad.
It's feel bad. So do Toastmasters too. Cause I was like, and then I joined on one of y'all toast. I gotta come back, but the time that y'all have is kind of hard. But I'm gonna do Toastmasters anyway, because I'm not gonna put him out there. But he, like I said, I know him from law school, and he was just like, I would have never ever thought that he would have been like this Toastmaster, because he was just so quiet, at least around me, and he was just, I would have never saw it. So it's crazy that he's the Toastmaster guy, right? But so he plugged us together, and I said, when are you available? I record on Saturdays. He was like, basically like the year schedule was like 3 months out, and I was like, this
Oh
is
my God. So really?
it was like 3 months out. You was like, I'm not available until boom, boom, boom. I got all these things going on. I'm not available. I don't know if it's 3. I might be exaggerating, but it was like 2 months
Yes,
out.
you are. But the point is, I did give you a date. And what happened on that date, sir? Please
So the
tell the
date,
viewers.
so this is where I'm taking ownership of. So when the date, so what I do, I have a hard, so I do everything electronically, right? But I don't, and I got to go back to this book, like the link to the things on Saturday. I had a board meeting. Actually, the board meeting got rescheduled, right? Not board meeting, board retreat for this the health center we're on. So it happened on that Saturday that we were supposed to record. And that is my fault because I just double booked it. So it was my fault. So I canceled
So in other
everything.
words, you're saying you're not very organized, sir?
Most of
Oh
the time,
Lord, and that's why you need Toastmasters. We don't start with and meaning you're giving yourself enough time to think of an answer, sir.
because I want to be honest and because we being candid. So most of the time I am organized, but sometimes I'm not. So I think that's a human being thing, right? Or not?
I wouldn't know. I'm very organized, so I can't relate. So don't expect me to side with you, sir, because again, we're here because of me, but you're welcome.
Ah, yeah, because of you. Wow. So I told you I was sending you the link. I just didn't want to send you a link too far ahead because I don't want to, flood it. I don't want any excuses like, yo, I didn't see it. Your link to your.
I am Mss Francois,
Yeah.
MSS, multi-talented and super sexy. I would have seen the link, but it's okay.
And super sexy. Got you. That's what I was going to ask you. But I'm glad you answered that because I was going to ask you why the double S. So let's talk about Toastmasters. How did you get involved with that?
Oh my God, I had this amazing teacher that we all hated in the beginning, right? But I always realized the teacher you hate the most is the teacher you end up loving the most and actually helped you along the way. So one thing she had said when I finished my second master's, just throwing that out there, is that she said, one of the things is people think when they come out of college, they stop learning. All right, that's not the people that are not too smart. So she said that I should definitely get a subscription to a book like Money or one of those kind of books, like, Fortune magazine. And she said, she told me one other thing, which I could never remember. But the third thing she said, join our organization, something like Toastmasters. She had also told me one other club I had looked up was something people who only had masters could belong. But that club it's a big club. I didn't want to throw them under the bus, but I was a bunch of hoity-toity black people because it was a black organization and they wasn't doing nothing. So I looked up Toastmasters. I went to a bunch of clubs. Everybody looked old, like they were going to die tomorrow. And that was not my kind of thing, right? So the following year, I decided to look again. And it so happened that the particular club that I belonged to, they had not too long opened. And they're in Long Island because I live in New York. And I signed up. And when I got there, it had this particular guy. His name was Quentin, that's my confidant, Quentin Messerton. I love you.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
He's shouting you out, Quentin, wherever you at. Hopefully you watching. He's shouting you out.
And he was one of the best speakers that I ever saw. And I remember thinking, I can't do that. That looks terrifying. For like a year, I sat there and never spoke. I would just come, look at everyone. One of my biggest issue was, again, we are our worst enemy. So I was like, I have an accent and they were speaking like, hi, my name is Gloria. And I'm like, I can't talk like that. So I'm like, I'm never going to be a great speaker because I have an accent and I just don't sound like they do. But he actually ended up being my mentor because they said in Toastmaster, you get a mentor also. You have these speeches that you have to do and they tell you the different kind of speeches. Your first speech is always about yourself, right? And he ended up being my mentor. I think I'm pretty good. I'm like, I think I'm better than you, Quentin. Yeah. But he was one of the people that definitely helped me because if you have to go up and speak in front of anybody, is so much anxiety that comes with that, because they say that actually I think that one of the worst fears people have is just being in front of people. But having a mentor and honestly following the Toastmaster guidelines is a big help. I'm someone that I Google a lot of things. I use the website toastmaster.org. I'm like a big advocate of Toastmasters now. And once you have people, Nancy Garlick, who she's the one that started the club and she was a president at that time, they were always so encouraging. And the first time when I was supposed to do my first speech, my whole hand was doing this through the whole 4 minutes, but I did it. And I think once you keep doing something, just like anything in life, and you keep working on it, you get better. And look at that. I joined in 2013. I did my first speech in 2014 and 2016. I won all of New York. What are the chances? Like, that's amazing to me, and it's me.
That's an amazing story, because that's less than, that's what, 3 years?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
And I had
amazing.
people in Toastmasters for 10, 15 years, and I'm like, oh my God, you need to start over. But
so explain. So do you want to shout your club out, or no? Y'all don't do that.
yes, emerging speakers of Elmont. Shout out to Nancy Gallic, Melvin Gallic. Thank you for starting such an awesome club. Thank you for my mentor, Quincy Meziton. I love my Toastmasters team. They're amazing. Shout out to Julio. I could have never pronounced his name before. Thank you for linking me up with this amazing guy. Well, I'm amazing. So two amazing people.
Yeah, Julio. I used to get his name wrong all the time.
I used to call him Julio.
Julio, exactly, right? And so the first time I met him, this is a funny story. The first time I met him, so we in law school together. He was in a different section. So you see his name, you automatically say Julio. So I was like, Julio. And he was like, no, it's Julio. He was like upset about it. I'm like, bro, your name is traditionally people say Julio, but
yeah.
But he's a great guy.
I'm sure he's tired of always correcting people, because it took me quite a while, like a year, to get it right.
Oh, you was got it wrong for So my name Detravius, so I try to get people name right, because I know the issue that comes with people messing your name up. So once he told me, I was like, bro, I got it. He had his New York hat on. You know, he's Brooklyn. He had his New York hat on, and he's like, no, it's Julia. I was like, all right, say no more, bro. I don't want to fight. Say no more. That's the name. I got it. And like I said, he's always been a good guy. And like, he's always been quiet around me, but people always been telling me like, nah, Julio was not quiet. I'm like, around me, he's always quiet. And then like we worked together. Then, that's when I really, really got, because we was in different sections. So we kind of we in the same law school, but we in different groups per se, because your section becomes like your crew. And after law school, we end up working at the same spot. And then we became really, really cool. And that's when I really started seeing his personality, the jokes and all that type of stuff. But he still wasn't the dude that I'm like, he's going to win this award in Toastmasters and all that.
Yeah, now he's killing Toastmasters. He's
killing Toastmasters.
2 clubs, doing a bunch of things.
And you said you use a terminology that I haven't heard. So I want you to explain it for you. You said you did your second master. What are the steps with Toastmaster?
What's the question?
You said you completed your second master. You said, or you finished your second master. Something you said, and you was like,
I was talking about like how I found out about Toastmasters. I was in school and I had just completed my second master's.
Oh, your second as in degree.
Yes, it's okay.
I'm a little slow sometimes.
Really, never would have known.
See, there you go. So what do you have your degrees in?
The first one is an MBA, business, the typical that everyone just go get. And the second one is human resources.
Human resources. So you're a human resources person, huh?
I just have a degree in it. I actually work in a financial institution. And you know what's funny? I do like my job, but I don't like numbers. So people always go, how does that work? I'm like, I like policy and procedure, though. I think that's the part that's interesting, because it always changes.
Okay, it's cool. I was about to ask you, are you using your degrees? Because people get these degrees and don't be using them.
No, mine's been useful. And I got a raise and all that stuff when I had completed them. So
okay.
Yeah.
So you got some deep pockets. Then you still need investors. Well, you always use other people's money. That's the saying, right?
Exactly. Yeah. See,
Oh man. So all right. So we got the Toastmasters. We got the relationship thing. We got you say you're not a comedian. What's the term you use?
So when I perform some of the things, like when I went on the mini tour that I did in 2019, I told him, because I went with comedians, right? They had people been doing this thing for years. He's famous in Trinidad. So I don't know how comedians do their thing. So I call my comedic monologue. And the reason I did that, because when people hear monologue, they're immediately going to think I'm going to tell a story. When someone say I'm a comedian, as soon as you walk out on stage, they expect you to make them laugh immediately. I don't have that. That's why I say I have so much respect for comedians. That's hard. Think about all the famous people that were booed, from the Steve Harvey to the Jamie Foxx. They were all booed. I can't handle that situation, right? It's not like I grew up saying I want to be a comedian. Some of these things that happen, I could say somewhat I fell into it. It just came from me being in relationship. It didn't work out too well. Let me make a speech about it. So comedians, much respect to you guys.
So you said comedic monologue. That's how
Yes.
what you call it.
So when people come out, they don't expect me to immediately have a mic and have, wait for anything. I'm coming, because if you look up monologue, it's basically a storytelling. So my story could have some funny parts. So when I come out, you tend to be more listening to what I have to tell you. I can't hear you. Something's wrong with your mic?
Oh yeah, I didn't want the echo to come because I didn't bring my earpiece today. I left them home. But so that's when me not
Very organized. I see.
Very organized. Go ahead, get your shots off. Get your shots off. I'm cool. Get your shots off. So the reason I asked you that because I want to do something like that, but I don't want to be. So is that your term? Because if it's your term, I'm still in it.
I don't know. I think I kind of made it up. To be honest,
I'm still in it.
But it just protects me from people expecting me to be like, oh my God, she's supposed to be funny. She wasn't funny. Even when I perform, again, if you look at anything that I perform, I don't have too much expressions on my face. So I feel like this comedy is different to different people, right? Mm-hmm. What I think is funny, you might not think is funny. So I feel I'm protecting myself where when I do any comedic monologues or whatever, people laugh at different intervals, so I'm letting you have the freedom to laugh wherever you choose to laugh. When a comedian stands up and says that thing, he has the point where this is where you're supposed to laugh. What they call that I can't remember what they call. Exactly. Yeah. So you have a punchline. I don't necessarily have a punchline.
Nah, so I'm gonna steal your term. I'm gonna give you credit though. I'm gonna
okay. All this is recorded, so I'm. We can work together on it. Why can't we be working on it and trying to steal my?
Because I want to do that. So because I don't want to. Because I'm thinking I'm funny, but I don't want. But who knows if I'm funny, right? I don't want the expectation. Yeah, you decide. The audience decide. I don't want the expectations. If I'm doing something on stage to be that you have to laugh, right? So comedic monologue, I think, is a great thing that I'm gonna think about and market when I do decide to do it. So I'm gonna be reaching out. So we're gonna be reaching out anyway on yours. But then when I do mine, so I gotta get my Toastmasters right because I gotta get nice with it. But I
know what? We actually have a new Toastmasters that start on Monday. It's a brand new. You should check it out because it has to do with comedy. Because it's like a specific club trying to help you, stage presence and all these different things. Because they have different Toastmasters. We started a new one called Leaders for Readers or something. So that's people who are more into books. So maybe if you're free on Monday around 7:00, you can 7 Eastern time. Maybe you can check it out.
All right. So we share that information with me. I don't know if you want to share it publicly, but you can share it with me.
Yeah, it's public. It's for anybody.
Okay, yeah, because I'm gonna try that out because I think that's a great. Cause I'm always trying to push myself into, stretch goals, right, and to get out of my comfort zone. That's how I started the podcast, and it's in the live. Now we're doing a live stuff, and it's doing numbers that I didn't expect. I just really was just challenging myself, right? And
that's awesome.
So when Julio shared the thing he shared on LinkedIn, I'm like, because I've been thinking about Toastmasters. So I had a mentor or employer that told me the same thing. It was like, you should join Toastmasters. His name was Rex, I forgot his last name, an older white man. And this was like, man, I'm giving my age up. This had to be like 20 years ago. And he was like, you need to be in.
But I think for me, like I always said, I'll give Toastmasters a probably because it's definitely a great place to start. Because people don't realize so much it teaches. Simple things like people have filler words like, I know. And that's something it actually takes away when you're telling someone something. Because you always pause. They always say instead of saying and you should just pause, get your thoughts, and then continue. And then you learn so much that when other people are speaking, and every time they use filler words, you're like, need a Toastmaster, not doing a very good job. So it helps you with so much, and it even helps you in writing and being able to tell a story from beginning, middle, and end. So it's a lot it teaches you.
Got you. So how has it been different? Because y'all generally will meet in person, right? So how has it changed with COVID? Like, does it still have the same?
So I would say for me, it's challenging because I'm a people person. I like to see you. I like to hug. I like to talk. People are in front of you. So we transitioned to Zoom, which it's good in some instances that you could send a link to almost anywhere in the world and you could get to participate in other people's Toastmaster and see how they do things there. So that is a positive, right? Compared to jumping in your car and trying to drive to get there on time after work. But it also has its negatives because, again, for me, especially if you're doing comedic stuff, you need to get the energy from the audience. And when people camera is off or when the mute button is on, you can't hear the responses. You don't know how it's affecting them. So in that sense, it's a negative for me when it comes to Zoom. But again, it's still a place where we all meet, because I could honestly say once you get on, you see all the familiar faces or new faces, and you're making friends, you're making connections, you're networking at the same time. It's pretty awesome. And they also say a lot of people who meet up for Toastmasters, the income bracket tends to be larger because it's people who want to develop themselves and grow. So it's a great way. Believe me, guess what? Because of Toastmasters, because of me going on stage that day, a lot of the people in the first show of my Frustrated, the Off the Broadway show, I had a lot of Toastmasters in the room. Some of them I didn't even know, but because they seen me in Toastmaster, they saw what I can do. They're like, let's pay the $50+ and come see Mss Francois or Patrice Francois.
Patrice Francois. Guy, I wasn't gonna give your government name, but you do it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Once people see me in the street, they should say Mss Francois. Don't call me my first name. I'm not gonna answer. Yeah, I'm already bougie and all that stuff already. That went to my head.
Yeah. So
your mic again, sir. What, really? Is this my podcast? I don't understand what's going on here, sir. Are you fighting with the mic? People, I hope he edits some of these things, okay? Because this is not making him look too good right about
this. This is all part of recording live. I don't do much editing. This is all part of the process.
Oh my God! Yeah. But again, I looked amazing and I sound amazing. So it's all you, sir.
It's all me. It's all my fault. But this is all part of the process. I might edit that part out. Probably won't. But just because I don't have the time to do it and I don't feel like paying someone. Now I like the whole organic thing. I don't like to be super polished and all that type of stuff because I think that takes away.
Do you put this out on YouTube or everything is just podcasts?
So I've been doing YouTube. So this is my you are the first podcast that I'm doing because I've been doing lives for the past couple months. I had stopped doing the podcast, but you're going to be the return of the podcast. So it's going to go on the live page. The fan page is going to go on YouTube. It's going to go on in traditional audio. So this is going to be your first one. So you are the first. You the first.
Well, thank God I bathe and everything, and I look amazing.
Gotcha. Exactly.
I might get my husband after this show. What? 5'5" brown eyes and caramel complexion, total perfection. Okay.
Oh, you got your selling points all down.
What? Duh. Yeah, I'm always on point. That's what I do.
That's that Toastmaster, and that's that organization. So, what I like about your so I don't want to flood y'all Toastmasters up with a whole bunch of people that just. What I loved about your Toastmasters is actually was it was the first one, but I'm assuming it's not traditional. Like there were so many different accents in there. Cause you like you said, you have this general, cause I always be like, I'm not polished enough as I should be, right? And a lot of that is just my insecurities or whatever. Like, we talked about that with you was saying about your accent, but right. you when I was there, I try to stay on as long as possible. It was just so many different, and maybe because where y'all located, it was so many different accents and it was very diverse. And I'm assuming that most Toastmasters are probably not that diverse, but I could be wrong.
Guess, like you said, it's according to where it is, right? So this year I was area director, which I was in charge of 5 clubs in total. Right. So you see, I do things. So my club is diverse, and a lot of the other clubs that I was overseeing was diverse, which I think is cool. But I think it's New York, New York, which according to where you live in New York, which is Queens, Brooklyn, it has been diverse in a lot of instances, which I love that.
Yeah, I love it too, because it once for me, it was like, all right, this guy doesn't sound like the traditional person I would think would be a good speaker. And then when he went up, I was like, oh, he delivered. You know what I mean? Because like the voice, the accent is very strong, very Brooklyn. I don't remember his name. It was very Brooklyn, New York type accent. I was like, this is not somebody that I think would knock it out the park, but they did. That's just my own.
And I think remember, it's all about growth too, because you
Yeah.
don't know how long they've been there, or some people could be there for 10 years, but have they been doing speeches, so
Right.
it's still up to, it's self-paced, but it's still up to that person and how well they want to develop. Because I know some people been there for 8 years and haven't done no speeches or have done
Yeah,
one
don't put their names out there. I don't want you to
No,
have
I'm
no
not that
problem.
bad.
I don't want you to have no
I'm
problem.
bad, but I'm
I
not
know you
that bad.
candid. I know you candid and everything, but I don't want you to have no problems. People looking at you crazy, you saying punchlines, and they just like, I can't stand that. But yeah, I don't want you to have that. I don't want you to have no problem. So, are you familiar with the moth?
The ball?
The moth, MOTH, the moth.
No, sir.
Yeah, check it out. It's a I think they were mainly in New York, so it was like a group of people that would go up, and they have a podcast. It's called The Moth, MOTH, The Moth,
Okay.
and they do, like, I would say it's comedic monologues. Like, they just up there telling their stories, and obviously it's punchlines, you laugh, all that type of stuff. But what you told me, what you were doing, reminded me of what they do. So I didn't know if he was familiar. I think you should check it out. I think you would like it.
Okay. I'll do
Yeah.
that just because you said it.
I be giving stuff away. You know what I mean? I give it to the people. So check it out. I used to listen to it all the time. They actually had I was listening to their podcast before I think it was even called a podcast. It was just like this. So they were talking years ago. I don't listen to it. I haven't listened to it in a while, but it was like, it just, because I'm always trying to do something different. Like I said, I've been Toastmasters over 20 years ago, and he told me to do it, and I just never did it. So I'm doing it now. But yeah, you should check it out. So so we coming up on our hour. So what's in your, well, one, what are you looking for in a man? Let's go back to the relationship.
So
Let's get that out the way. So
people like to say I'm picky and I'm this, and I'm like, look, I've dated some serious monkeys, so it's not necessarily about look. If I have to pick my ideal man, it would be Trevor Noah. Yes, he looked fine, but at the same time,
I saw that in your board with the vision board. I saw that.
God damn, wait, what? Well, you don't see you been at my house? What?
No, I told you I've been doing my research. You got
that's not research. That's stalking, sir. It's stalking. But yes, ideally it would be Trevor Noah, but everybody has their type, right? I'm into the skinny. I don't like the big muscular. No. If I had to do physical, a skinny, tall, I like my little light skin or whatever. You married, so it don't really matter, right? So that's my kind of thing, because people be like, oh, you picky. What? I shouldn't want, it's like food. So I supposed to go eat something I don't want to eat or I don't like to eat because it's bitter. So that's what I typically like physically, right? Skinny and tall and the light skin. But Trevor Noah is very educated, and people don't understand it's more to that, because it have many cute, tall, light skin guys out there. But Trevor Noah comes with the brains, and I like someone that could make me stop and think. Right. I also like someone that's very supportive, because I've been with people like, yeah, I could support you, but then they're not doing much in their life. They don't have any goals. So when I'm doing the Mss Francois, writing the books or doing the shows, all of a sudden they're like, oh, I feel like I'm not adding anything into your life. Well, guess what? If you feel that way, that means you're actually not adding anything in my life. That's why you're not here. So my thing is, just be supportive, be goal-oriented, be ambitious. You could have your job, you could have your side hustle, but I'm into growth. So if you're growing and doing something you love doing, then you could definitely have a conversation with me. But I have met a lot of people that not really doing anything, and they have their job and they complain every day, and then come home to try to complain to me about the job they don't like, but they're not doing anything else to get to the next level. You can't talk to me. I'm sorry.
You heard that? Y'all better get y'all stuff together before you holler at her. If you tall and light skin. Why light skin? Because I feel in a certain type of way. Why light skin?
You know what it is? I just think a lot of these things has happened when you're kids, or what your parents tell you on certain things. It just comes from a lot of things. But again, I've dated some dark people that you have to definitely only go out in daytime to see them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, honestly, at the end of the day, I don't really discriminate. I have my type, but I have dated from the white to the black to the Indian. So I'm pretty much open-minded. I think the only thing I haven't dated is Asian. So I'm still open.
You're still open. Got you. Now,
I'm pretty open.
I respect your candidacy. Is that the right word I'm looking for?
I don't know. You're the attorney, sir. I
be getting caught up looking for words. But because I think most people would have answered that very politically correct. Like, I'm just open for. You say you were specific. Trevor Noah is the goal, But in the meantime, tall, light skin, educated. You know, people don't like to put their requirements out there because they feel like people are going to be judging them. Well, I guess people are going to judge you regardless. But
Exactly. And
yeah,
but I'm the one that gotta sleep with them and wake up with them, so I don't really care what you gotta say.
yeah, absolutely. So what's next on the horizon for you? Well, I want you to come back because I feel like we gotta dig
You
deeper into
like me. You like me.
yeah, absolutely. So I think you got to come back because you got so much stuff going on. I didn't know you had this much going on. I did my research. So I told you the Trevor Noah thing. You got a video out there where you're showing your so I wasn't at your house looking in through the shades and nothing like that. You have a video out there which you're showing your vision board. You forgot you recorded that?
Yeah, let me tell you something. I can't remember nothing. That's why I'm pretty open. So if case anyone always come and be like, but I saw this, I'm like, well, that's the truth, but I can't remember. I even have a video. Did you ever see the Oprah video that I did, the Oprah thing?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, isn't that amazing? That's one of my favorite, actually. I'm so proud of myself.
That's like that comes up. I think that's your it's not the first video that comes up on your YouTube. I don't know what's your first video, but it's there. You can see it.
Awesome.
That's why I saw the was that on your page or somebody else's page with the Trevor Noah? You had like 5 pictures of Trevor Noah and the person that was talking to you was like,
that's on my show. God, we were talking about vision boards, and I just wanted to be a silly or whatever. I was like, okay, this is mine. So what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, exactly. See, you remember? I told you.
Yes.
But yeah, so what you got? Because we coming up. So what you got coming up? What can people expect? Where can they find you? All that good stuff.
So first thing to find me, mssfrancois.com. Once you go to the website, that's why I like website. It's like going to someone's house and you find everything you need. So every social media, I'm there. My TikTok, all that stuff, right? So basically, my next thing that I'm doing is that I'm working on a course in reference to the book, The 5+ Ways to Getting Over a Breakup. So that's the next thing I plan on launching in October 25th. This is the first time I'm actually voicing it out loud because I'm scared to death. And a lot of things I realized I've done in my life, I've been scared, from the Toastmasters to the show, to the TV show that was so scary to start, to the book, because I'm one of those people that not great at grammar, but I have 2 books, so I'm good. So the next thing is my course. So once it's scary, that means I'm doing the right thing and I'm in the right direction.
So the book is, so the second one is how to something with the team.
It's lights camera launch. This basically is kickstarting your own professional TV shows by using the me in team. Because all growing up you always hear there's no I in team, and I'm like, but there is me. And in order to start any goal or anything, you have to start with yourself, right? And a lot of times, how much time I say when you have your friends and them, they always go, yeah, I'm going to help you. And then when you really start to launch something, they're never around, and it always end up being a bunch of strangers that end up supporting you.
Yeah, I always tell people now, say, like, because I help a lot of small businesses. I told them, I say, don't even look for your people to support you, like the people that you know. I was like, it would be great that if they support you, but don't look for it, because you're just gonna be frustrated and you're gonna start.
Yeah, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. I know, believe me, I know. Some of those people are cut off.
Yeah, you're gonna start, you're gonna start cutting people. So it's really gonna be what I realized in my life is really gonna be the strangers, quote unquote, that are gonna support you, and it's gonna be the people that you've known all your life that's gonna come after the strangers support you, and they're gonna act like they've always been supporters. It's like, yo, bro.
I know, Patrice, we worked together. You didn't buy a book, did you? You didn't buy a book. Did you hit follow? Did you like? And I've gotten that from a lot of people. Oh, I see your stuff on Instagram. It's good. Did you hit like? Did you comment? Then what's the point? And total strangers. I've had certain people following me since I started, because I wasn't into social media. But since I think I started social media like in 2017. I'm a total late person. And I actually started posting in 2018. And some people who follow and comment is the people that I have no idea who they were. And I actually made some friends along the line because they were more supportive than your friends.
Your friends is absolutely. So I don't know what's that about with human nature. I don't know if it's because they familiar with you. I don't know. Maybe that's.
I think it has to do with a lot that they're familiar with you, and sometimes they don't see you in a certain light. So if I say I'm going to start a TV show, they're like, "What? You work in a bank? What TV show?"
That's a great point. One of my good friends, he's a He's an attorney by trade. I met him in law school, but he's a venture capitalist. I don't think he ever really practiced. And he was like, what you got to remind people is that one, you have other interests outside of being a lawyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, don't get caught up. Well, I've never been caught up being a lawyer anyway. I don't even like telling people that because they always hit you with questions and want free advice. But that's another story. But he always say like you were somebody before you had interests and loves and all that type of stuff before you became a lawyer. So always keep that in the forefront of your mind when you're going on this journey after you get your law degree and become bar. Like yo, you're not just an attorney. You just a person that happens to be an attorney, but you could be an artist, right? He's a venture capitalist. He was a musician. Like I was all those things. I just happened to become a lawyer.
Wow.
So I think that's yeah. So like you're right. So with your point, he was saying that when you people identify you as that, like you said, when you tell them you're doing something else, they're like, why you do that? You're an attorney.
Yeah, because no one else could really see your vision, So remember, it is your vision. You're the one who had to water it, so other people can't see it. It's when they start to see all the glitz and glamour. That's like you said, they want to come after, which is fine. You could come, you just can't get in the car.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So we're gonna end it on that one. That's the mic drop. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. We recorded this. You may or may not see the blooper in this thing. Probably most likely you are because it only was a couple seconds and she was beautiful and kept the smile. You smiling. You say you don't smile, which I can't believe because everything I see you're smiling on. So I can't believe you're doing the
the comedic things.
Comedic monologue and not smiling. But you're not gonna reveal it. We're gonna talk about business behind the scenes. But everybody, thanks for tuning in this. I am your host, Detravius Bethea. We got Mss Francois was a wonderful guest, and she's going to kick off the new series online, all places with the audio. And please like, rate, review, subscribe. What's another one people say? Smash the like button. I guess that's the same as like. Share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Donate if you can. Become a supporter. And I'm gonna see you on the other side to the next episode. Peace. You gave all your stuff out, right? Or you want to give it again?
Yes, of course I did. Plus, you're gonna put it in the show notes or whatever.
Put it in the show notes. So I'm gonna put all her books. So the next time I bring you on, if you want to come on, if you enjoy this experience, I'm gonna have the book notes, the notes from your book. So I'm gonna get the. So your book is not just aimed at female, right?
To me, you're supposed to have a niche. I hate when people say, "Oh, it's for everybody." Yeah. Again, can men learn from it? Yes, but no, it's for my sisters. It's for me. Okay, I'm my niche. Okay, so for my woman, there'll be some other men out there gonna write a book for you. Don't leave me alone.
Gotcha. All right, and all that information is gonna be in the show notes. Please go follow her. She's very funny. I'm not just saying that because she's on the show. I've actually looked in and she's very funny, very entertaining, very informative. So go check her out. All the stuff is going to be in the show notes. And until the next time, peace.